All right, everyone, we are now recording. Yes. Okay, welcome. It's September 28th to our Youth Services Discussion Monday at 1:30 meeting. Here is our agenda. We are going to talk about our schedule because, we had 40 people right at the beginning, which was to be expected because everything was crazy. But we've dropped off a lot, and we know you're all super busy with trying to do your jobs and attend this and have reduced hours and do all sorts of everything at your libraries. So we just want to reconfirm what a good day and time is to do this, because we would like to continue doing this. But we'd also like to make sure we're doing this at the best possible time for everybody. And, there is no date and time that's perfect, but there's one that may be more perfect than what we're doing. And then we're going to talk about what we have planned for the fall and winter check-ins before we resume with January in the summer reading program. We have some updates from the Collaborative Summer Library Program. We have lots of save the dates, a digital toolkit follow-up, and then check-in. And does anyone want to add anything? Does anyone want to say anything? Okay. Alrighty. So first up is the check-in schedule, and I sent an email out on Friday. I hope I got everybody, and I hope you can all take this poll. So far, I think we've had like 5 or 6 people take it, and it takes it should take you 15 seconds. These are the options, and you just you can pick more than one. Or you can just pick one as your best one. The bold one highlighted, of course, is where we currently are, and this will be every other week still. So I'm going to put this link in chat too. And if you can do this, and if you have other youth services people at your library, your library director, anybody, have them take it so we'll know what's best. Okay. And then we'll go from there. We'll see what everybody figures is good for them. And then next up we have what we'd like to transition our every other week's focus into during mid-October through December. So we figure 6 or 7 weeks. And this is something Bruce, our early literacy consultant, is going to be leading the charge on. So if you want to unmute yourself, Bruce. And
we did get a statement in the chat. I don't know if you saw it. I have
yes.
a short update from NYRA.
Yes, and we will definitely tackle that. Thank you. Thank you. And I've asked Teaching Books to create a NIRA list for 2021. So that's there. That's there as a list of all the books with all the resources that go with those lists. Just FYI. Okay, so go on, Bruce, sorry.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm basically wanting to talk to you guys this afternoon about the family reading program, Mind in the Making, and the Learning Circle model, and also having guest trainers. What we plan to do with, as you may know, most of you are still teaching or giving, not teaching, but giving your story times through the virtual medium. And we would like to take this opportunity to help develop early literacy training for parents and caregivers on how to do these story times virtually. But it's going to take people who've already had experience doing this. This is why we're having the Learning Circle. Anybody familiar with Learning Circles? It's a facilitated model where basically I will be hosting it and you all will be contributing your ideas and your thoughts to helping and teaching other people what works for you and for your library. It is important that we get the kind of feedback, because I think you guys are the most authentic people, since nobody has had any experience with these things. Now, the question you might be asking yourself at this point is, why are we doing a family reading program? Well, children are still being born, and as you know, Nevada has not been in the strongest of positions to on when it comes to early literacy for parents and caregivers. And one of the things that we can do to help is help train parents how to teach their children how to enjoy reading, how to effectively read, help them develop, because their minds are always developing. They never stop because of the pandemic. And the great fear right now among educators and people across the country, experts across the country, is that we're losing a generation of kids because they're not being properly stimulated. They're not their normal schedules and routines for developing reading has been disrupted. And libraries are in a perfect position to help parents with this. The family reading program will not be a standalone program which you must do separately from your story times, but rather we want to incorporate the skills into your family reading program, which is where you guys will come in and we can discuss the most effective ways of doing this. It's very vitally important that we get a start on this as soon as possible. And these meetups will help keep you on track and help you develop a community of experts you can call or contact when you have a question about it. The other thing I want to talk about is Mind in the Making. As you know, you probably have heard of Room and Mind in the Making a couple of times from us. Well, we are in the process of also making that a digital component to your story times that we would like you to incorporate an executive skill function, which we'll be happy to talk about in our meetings. And we are planning to invite the person from an expert in this. Her name's Sarah Schrick, and she works with the Northern Nevada Literacy Coalition, I believe. Might have got that wrong, but she's really sharp and really smart, and she has modules that will help you develop these skills to teach to parents online. We're all aware of what we're going through, and that digital storytelling is going to be around for a while, but these kids need the stimulation from you. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Just a comment, Sarah works for Children's Cabinet.
Yeah, Children's Cabinet, I'm sorry.
She was brought on specifically to help libraries and daycares and all sorts of every type of provider to help
Right.
bring in Mind in the Making to everything we do. So it's like a multi-pronged approach. Libraries are one component, and she's working with everybody, and she'd like to talk to all of you to figure out how we can, you help me out here, Bruce, extend the library reach out a little bit more into some of these family daycares.
Right.
Right.
It's a good it's a good way for groups that haven't been reached by the libraries, and will also help train them in these skills as well. This is to help parents and caregivers and maybe even instructors in how to teach these skills or incorporate these skills into your story times. And we will discuss this, and if you haven't heard of Mind in the Making, you'll be hearing more of it, I'm sure. But we're all awesomely great. Thank you for the save on the Northern Nevada Literacy Council.
Right. And one more thing about Children's Cabinet, I feel like sometimes we're always saying the library, it's our job to go out, but the beautiful part about Sarah and Children's Cabinet is she will also be able to talk about the library to these other groups. So it's just, she's
right. Yeah, this is all going to be a good connect. It's going to all be it's going to be a great networking opportunity for your library to bring in and attract new people to the services that you offer and the skills that you have. And it works, we'll all benefit from this. And we have to, let's emphasize that that digital is a different medium, and nobody has a monopoly on wisdom or expertise when it comes to digital storytelling. In fact, I think some of you out there probably have more credibility in this area than people who you would think would have that. So I really look forward to this, doing this, guys, with you and getting your feedback and getting your support and help. But most of all, let's think about the families and the children out there when it comes to this thing. We have a wonderful opportunity to reach a newer, bigger audience. And I hope you all will come aboard. Thank you.
And so again, that ties back to why we're making sure we have the date and time that is the best, right? Okay. Okay. Pam, do you want to talk about NIRA now, or do you want to save that for later? Oh, sorry, Bruce.
I'm done.
Yeah. Okay. And anyone have anything to add about this? Or we can...
This is Judy Washoe, and I just was wondering what the outcome is for this. Is it to establish digital story time through the Northern Nevada Literacy Council and their family reading program? Or did I misunderstand that?
So, I mean, from the way I see it, the family reading program is a model that's very good, that's very specific to what Northern Nevada Literacy Council does in person. And we are trying to work with them to adapt it, to make it so that anybody can do it without the specific, every kid gets the same book, every kid gets a book to go home. We're trying to adopt all of those techniques and tricks and
Okay.
into like a virtual world, because like it's super hands-on, in-person group learning sort of thing, which like we just can't do at this point, and I hope we can soon. But so that was it. The outcome is just to get everybody up to speed on some of these family learning techniques, modeling for parents, modeling for caregivers. And I'm sure you guys already totally do that. So if you do, it's a little bit of reinforcement with some mind in the making executive functions thrown into it. Yeah.
Okay.
That answer. Okay.
Yes, that's clear. I just wanted to make sure. And then just so you all know, which I think I've already mentioned, the Youth Services and Library Events team staff has had one training from the Children's Cabinet. It was really informative on Room and Mind in the Making. And I think also I did a small one through the United Way and the Reading Coalition. They also presented there, which, I mean, every time you listen to it, you can learn something new because it's so detailed and there's so much information. And also we are happy to launch in October. We're going to not only have our virtual story times, but some of our staff have developed, we're going to have a break with baby, and it's not really a story time. And this was kind of a focus because of the publisher guidelines possibly going away and not being able to read books, but we still wanted literacy and learning out there. So these will focus on some little songs and rhymes to do with baby, as well as early literacy tips. And we can also definitely share this. In fact, on our early literacy, I don't know what to call it now because you always call them handouts, but we're not really handing them out, but it's going to be a digital flyer and a handout too that we can eventually hand out. But we will mention I'm Ready for K as well as Room on that. In fact, we were just reviewing it this morning, so that's going to be on there, and it's going to have a prominent place on our website as well.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's really great.
And then we're also doing the early reader feature, which will be geared towards the preschool, and it's the same idea where there's going to be a little song or finger play, and then an early literacy tip of what you can do with your child at home. So we'll keep you updated. Like I said, we're just launching that in October.
Yeah, and just to give a little bit of my take on this is what a facilitated learning thing looks like, where you're sharing information to other librarians about what you're doing and what's effective and what may not be effective, but what you're attempting. And I realize that because of all of the time that's the other services that most of us have to provide as librarians right now, like curbside pickup, on-call referencing, or staying behind the plexiglass shield, that your time is very limited, and maybe you can get one virtual story time done a week, or maybe every other day if you have a bigger library staff. Everybody's kind of stretched, and which is why I think this is a great opportunity for these all to be put into one basket, so to speak, rather than do as standalones, that you will have the skills to teach to the people who are watching your videos or watching your live streams. I mean, all of our time and resources is pretty limited in some regards because of the pandemic, and here's the perfect opportunity to do this. And I'm hoping that you'll learn the skills to teach to the parents, which is really will help us put a dent in our problems with literacy right now. And out.
All right, so you got a preview of what a learning circle is. Sweet. Okay. I'm sorry, did I interrupt somebody?
No, I just said thank you to Bruce. Judy, thank you.
No, thank you, Judy. You guys are always so awesome out there.
Okay, let's move on. Or Pam, did you want to update us on NYRA right now?
I can do it really quick if you want.
Yeah, before I forget.
Okay. So a couple of things. NYRA has done a NYRA Facebook page and an Instagram. So you guys can follow. We're starting to post stuff. Also, we have a letter that a flyer/letter thing that Rebecca did down in Vegas, and she would like it if we could, we would all like it if we could send it to this group, and then they could, maybe I'll send it to you, Sue Lynn, and then you can push it out to them. But it's basically like a little form letter to send to the school districts that you guys are in touch with, because obviously she's got Vegas, I've got Washoe, I don't have anybody else. So I don't have any contacts with any of those other school districts. And remind everybody, if you are pushing NYRA at all in your library, the voting for the nominations for the 2022 cycle closes on November 15th. And the voting for the 2021 books is currently ongoing. And you can see that at the website. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me or Rebecca down south, either one. Okay, that's all I got.
Pam, could you,
yes.
For the people who might be tuning into this on our YouTube page, can you explain
for those
what
people,
NYRA is?
NYRA is the Nevada Young Readers Award. It has been around since the 80s. It is, all books are nominated by kids to get the award. Then they are selected down to a limited number of selections per category, and there are categories from picture book all the way up to YA. And then when they're selected down, then the kids get to vote again and pick the one that is their favorite from the selected list. So I don't think I can share my screen. I'll put in the NYRA webpage here in the chat. And I don't know, Sue, can you log into that?
I can make you
and then not navigate around. So you can see that there were the winners from this that we voted on and that finally got selected this year. And that's just done by the number of votes that kids vote on, which is kind of cool. So it's basically kid/teacher run.
Pam, I have a couple of questions. I got an email that came to me indirectly from Ellen Faulkner, and she was asking about NYRA. I don't know what her original question was, but she says that she was looking for the voting information for students.
Okay, so roll down.
I'm sorry.
Here are the nominees right here. Oh, stop.
She said, for some reason, I thought they were able to vote through the state library website, but perhaps I'm thinking of South Dakota's program. And then she says that she's aware of the information available on the Nevada Library's website, in the past, information on the history of the award was available, but when the website was updated, that information seems to have been removed. If that were recoverable, it might be something positive to add to the state library's website. So do you?
I don't know anything about the state library, so I would have to, I will look into it. I know that I have some information that I was able to track down because there is not a lot of information about when it began. So you can see where the kids get to vote here on each selection.
How
And
fun.
then, yeah, it is fun. And then if you go back to the other tab, there's one where they can recommend. So the first one is the pink heart is where kids recommend for 2022.
Okay.
So there they can go in and suggest.
Okay.
And then if you go back over there, no,
Oops. Wait.
I don't know if you got rid of it or if you went back to the first one.
I went to. I
Hit it back. Hit the back. I think you clicked on the exit. Click the back arrow. And see if you
did.
paste.
Wait. Are we there?
We're there. Then if
Okay.
you look at the second one, that's the suggestions for 2022, and that date is coming up pretty quick. It's November 15th. But that's the list of all of the ones that have been suggested already, so they can see if their favorite book is on there if they want to. It's very nerdy, but you know, some kids are. And then if you go back to the first page right there, you can look at the past winners. And then if you want the actual reading list, which this needs to be updated with the new 2019 list. But if you go back again, yeah, you should hit the back arrow and it should go back. Where it says resources, the NYRA nominations, that's a PDF, and they can open that up and then see the whole list of everything that's being read this year by kids to vote on.
Okay. Well, you know, seriously, I never would have known to click on those colors, those colored ones.
Yeah, I know.
Just wouldn't have.
It's better than it used to be, but it's still not perfect. But I think it's been updated a couple of times, and I think that some of the information has gotten lost in the translation.
It's cute, but like, yeah, and it says click here. Duh. Okay.
Yeah, it does. The second one doesn't. It does say click here. But then at the bottom, if anybody wants to be a reader, it explains how to be a reader.
Nice.
So, yeah, it is nice. It's very graphical, which is nice for kids. So, anybody have any other questions?
No, thank you for that. Yeah, I looked through information that we had like on our shared drive, and I couldn't find any historical information or anything about it. So
I know I saw some from another library system, I think is where I found some of the information, but I'll see if I can find out where that's stored from Rebecca and get an answer for you.
okay, like I said, I'm not sure what the backstory was on the questions, but
Yeah, I don't know if she, well, and I know her, but I don't communicate with her on a regular basis. And I know I think she's doing the Nevada Reads conference, the reading conference that we used to have up here. Yeah, I think that's where I've known her from.
yeah.
So anyway, and if you want to be a reader, please feel free.
Good info.
We need more readers. I think last year when we had our meeting, we had like 4. I was like,
Yeah.
I know. And some of them were voting for more than one person, but some of them were, yeah, just one.
Everyone recruit a reader.
Recruit a reader.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was super interesting. I knew sort of in theory what NIRA was, but anyway. Okay, so we'll go back to the PowerPoint. Next thing up. Oh, it's Bruce again. Bruce, you're on. You vanished.
Yes, I turned off my camera for some strange reason. Okay, just to let you know, the oceanography, this is the results from all across the country and the U.S. territories on their votes for what the slogan for 2022 oceanography is going to be. And as you can see, the winner with 35 votes is Oceans of Possibilities. The second place winner was Discover Treasures at Your Library, Create Waves at Your Library, Explore New Depths, tied with 16, and Sea of Possibilities at 9, and Seven Seas, Infinite Stories, and Explore an Ocean of Wonders at 8. And I'm really disappointed that a punny name wasn't picked for the slogan. You know, I think some of us off the top of our heads came up with suggestions that would have probably gotten a smile out of people, I'd like to think.
I think it was Kelp, yeah, right?
Yeah, Kelp, yeah, or Read for the Halibut. You know, but that's going to be our slogan. I hope you guys can do something really creative with this. I think it's pretty broad, so you can maybe come up with some cool stuff for your libraries in 2022. So you can start thinking now.
Okay. Next up.
And our 2024 theme winner, it's going to be Adventure with 22 votes. And that's as broad as you can get. So, in 2024, you guys are going to have a whole open field of ideas to use for this theme. And I'm pretty sure and start thinking of your slogan for next year so that, Nevada can win one of these things and get some bragging rights.
Okay. Oops. That's supposed to say save the date number 1 because it's the most important, but it doesn't. So this is sort of me and Bruce and Norma. We picked a date. We picked a date for our virtual summer reading program workshop, and it's January 13th and 14th. We're tentatively saying in the afternoon, so from 1 p.m. on. Let us know what you think about times, but we're thinking like a big block rather than 10 a.m. with a lunch break and 2 p.m. But anyway, it's still tentative, but 13th and 14th, okay? Wednesday, Thursday. It's right before a big holiday weekend, so it's right before Martin Luther King, so we didn't choose Friday. Our tentative agenda is right here. We were thinking of getting maybe someone from the Park Service to come and do some outreach and presentation examples for you. Having our vendors come and talk to you. Having a segment on equity, diversity, and inclusion. Have a session featuring a Nevada author or authors, maybe 1, maybe 2. Session on working with the schools. We sort of tried that this summer with Mayan and the Department of Education. That was all rather, it felt like we were scrambling, so now we'll have time to actually get some structure in place if we're gonna be working with the schools, and maybe we can get someone from Department of Ed to come, but anyway, that's a tentative idea. I just put this here because I love the idea of, since it's Tales and Tales, and we may or may not be doing all of this virtually, digitally through Zoom, it would be fun on our training to have some pet zoomies. Those are two examples that I know of. Rainn Wilson from The Office did a 900 pet Zoom call back in the spring. If you want to look at it, he's a very good MC. He's a very, very good MC. There are people there with lizards and goats, and he had questions. It lasted for 40 minutes, and he was promoting a product, but it's an example of something fun you can do with your pets, with your animals, the animals in your life. I don't call them pets because they don't like that. And then another one is Andrew Cotter, and you may have seen him. He likes to do play-by-plays of his two dogs. He's a Scottish sportscaster. I'll put those links in chat. Those are some examples, and we're going to do something. We're going to do something virtually on Zoom with animals with you, okay? And then we'll have sessions where you can share. We figured we would have more structure to this rather than just telling you to bring stuff to share. So we're going to have a form, and we want you to share. We want you all to share because it's like a learning circle. Tell us your brilliant ideas and share it with us. And if you have longer sessions, we'll block out some time for you. And then we thought we'd have like a lightning round where you have, 60 seconds or 2 minutes to tell us your really cool idea and how you think that might work, both in a digital and in-person format. Because again, we don't know what's coming down the pike. So the best defense is planning. Planning on how to do it in person. Planning, I'm not going to use the word pivot, but how to pivot it to virtual. And if anyone would like to suggest something, but that's what we got. I'm going to put these links if you want to look at these. If you want to, you don't have to. Okay. Anything? Anyone?
The Rainn Wilson one is really funny. Do give a view, and also I've seen the Andrew Cotter one, and I found it hilarious because if you have more than one pet, you will find it hilarious.
Even if you don't, they're all very charming with their Scottish accents. Even the dogs have Scottish accents. So that's save the date number 1. Okay, shall we move on? Save the date number 2. We've mentioned this before, but it's coming up, so we're just going to put a reminder right here. It's the Colorado Libraries for Early Literacy Leadership and Institute Conference. Feel free to register. If you need travel to training funds, you can get that. I'm going to put the links in chat. Okay. Our next save the date is the Read Nevada virtual event. This is the press conference that Department of Ed is hosting. We expect that Governor Sisolak will say great things about all of you guys. You should have gotten an invite because we gave Department of Ed, everyone on the youth services list, we gave your emails to them, so you should have gotten an invite. If you didn't, tell Bruce, okay? So that's also on a Wednesday. Wednesdays are super popular. Wednesday at 2 p.m. Save the date number 4. Again, this is we mentioned this before. It's a reminder. Bruce has registered for this. It's a 3-part library journal, school library journal conference. 3 weeks in a row. Travel to training is available if you need, and I'm going to put, oops, crap. Hold on. I'm trying to get the links. Trying to copy the links. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's it. That's it for our save the dates. Want to add anything? Anyone? Does anyone else have a save the date? Okay. Okay. Next up is the digital toolkit. So our funding period is over. Our grant with NLA's grant was successful, I think. If you haven't already, and I put this link in the email, since it's a grant and I have to report on it to IMLS, we're trying to evaluate. The need that we identified was that you needed to have equipment in order to do virtual programs, right? So what we're measuring in this grant is your skill levels before and after, your satisfaction that the resources are meeting needs.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, so were you a newbie and expert? Then we're asking you, because part of what I wrote in the grant was that we would train you on how to do things. And it seems that like a lot of you figured it out yourselves, you're self-taught. But in the responses to the survey that I've gotten so far, the consensus is, you know, we need some training on video editing. Like we can figure out how to do the video and add some sound, but we need some help on the editing. So I will probably, even though the grant's over, that'll probably be part 2, the continuation, how will you sustain the outcomes of the grant? Well, we're gonna keep using it, and then we're gonna do some training on video editing. One of the comments in the survey that I've had so far is, now what do we do? What do we do with this stuff? Well, the grant period's over. So now you can use your imaginations and go wild. Seriously. It was all about digital programming for this grant, but you can check out this Lyon County Library YouTube video. They let one of their residents, Athena McIntyre, do a music video. And I've seen Athena McIntyre in person just around Carson City at one of our live events. She used the iPad mini and the green screen and the lighting, and she created a music video. So, you know, go wild. This is now yours to have fun with. Not that you weren't having fun already, but I don't think I can copy this because I did this wrong, but I will put the link up later. Here is the link though to the wish list survey. I know I'm pushing it, but I do need this to the report. Okay, and then the survey also asked you to send me one of your completed video URLs, and this is what I've gotten so far. I know a lot of you have just been posting things all over YouTube and Facebook, but I'm only sharing here with you things that have been shared with me. Oops, sorry. So if you want to see any of those, they're all right there. An example of what you can do, this Washoe County one by Tina Sloan, it wasn't a story time, it was a tour of their bomb shelter, right? So that is super cool. That is stuff you can do with this stuff. So if you want to see the Washoe County Library downtown Reno building's bomb shelter, watch this video. Churchill County, Joe Salzman did a video on the book's perspective. What's it like to be a library book in quarantine? And he like takes you through the whole process from the book's eye view. Like if you're a book, this is what happens to you when you get checked out and returned and put in quarantine. And it's really kind of cute. So those are for you to just look at. If you're here and I haven't posted one of your URLs, it's because you haven't shared it with me. So please do. And then of course we'll send all these to IMLS and they'll be super happy with you because it's cool. Okay. And that's it. Anyone have anything they want to say about the wish list? Thank you to NLA. Thank you, Betsy, for even suggesting that we do this. Betsy is the NLA CSLP representative. If you want to participate in our January workshop in any way, let me know, or if you can think of ways that NLA and the State Library can use LSTA to do something for this upcoming NLA year. I mean, summer reading program year. Tell us. Okay.
Sue Lynn,
Okay. Yes.
do you just want one survey per library district, or can multiple people submit?
Multiple people. Ideally, it's one per kit. That was the minimum, but you can
Okay.
have as many people as used it fill it out. So I think
Okay.
the more we can demonstrate its widespread usage, the more awesome it'll be. Better.
Okay. Thank you. We'll do
Okay.
that then. And I'll be happy to help you with the workshop. Just let me know what you need from me.
I don't know what we need from you. We'll have to figure that out. What do you need from us?
Yeah, I haven't started thinking about summer, I'll be honest.
I used to not start. I was going to show you a picture of me in my previous life during summer reading, but I usually didn't start planning until May.
Oh, we start well before May.
Oh, no, May. May was like when it was almost summer and I had to get something done. So everyone else is way better. Okay. Anyone else want to add anything? I've seen all your videos. I've seen most of them. I've seen many of them. Okay. Okay, and then now we're just going to do the check-in, and it's kind of specific. Halloween in the library, at least in my experience, was always fun. So we're just wondering what you're doing. If you're dressing up on Zoom, if you're decorating for your grab and goes, got anything planned? I'm gonna stop sharing.
Well, that week in Henderson, we have some Halloween themed, like a story time. We're also trying to put together a virtual escape room for that week.
I've read about virtual escape rooms. I have no idea how they actually work.
Yeah, I haven't done one. It's another one of my colleagues who's putting that together. So I think it's going to be Scooby-Doo themed. That's all I know so far.
I love Scooby-Doo.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. You know, now you guys really get to be creative with the limitations put on you.
Our Halloween carnival was always one of my favorite events of the year, and it's so not happening this year. So yeah,
You
we are
had
doing.
I'm sorry, you had a carnival at the library?
Well, we called it a carnival. We had like little games where they threw bean bags and then they got tickets, and that's how we got rid of all those random junk stuff, leftover summer reading prizes type of stuff.
How fun.
And then we always had like Halloween story times going, you know, like 15-minute sessions during it.
It was, that was one of the story times that I could always get my friends to help with. Either making cupcakes or dressing up. All right. Well, what about you guys in Humboldt? Are you still there? Jasmine and Jamie?
Just like our Halloween plans?
Yeah. If you're doing anything.
We're just planning on having, sorry, we're doing construction. we're just planning on doing trick-or-treating at the library all month. So like anytime you come to check out books, you can also get prepackaged candy along with a free book.
Ah,
Yeah, so rather instead of during the week, we're kind of spread it out for the whole month because we know there's gonna be quite a few kids since we're not able to do our trunk or treat event this year that we usually have over 300 people at. So we kind of spread it out through the month. We're excited about it.
month-long Halloween. I like that one. Okay. Who
Hi,
else?
this is Judy from Washoe, and we're having a staff pumpkin decorating contest that'll be all on social media. So staff can, decorate their pumpkin, take a picture, and then it'll be up for voting. And then we're also having a Halloween party. That'll be a virtual event, of course. And basically it says, calling all goblins and ghosts, you have been summoned to attend your yearly training to learn how new spooky stories and crafts. So there's going to be 3 different witches, staff, of course, and they're going to be leading different activities and crafts to do with the children.
Fun. Alicia, were you able to pop back on? I know you dropped off for a bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm finally here. My tech is just going wild. It's not my lucky month, I guess. For Halloween, we usually do like a trick or treat in the library, and the families and kids can wear their costumes and stuff, and they can go to each desk, like reference, circulation, and children's, and we hand out prizes. In children's, we hand out some children's books that we may have left over or something from our 22s. So this year, though, it sounds like my director doesn't want to do too much. So what us and children's are going to do is we're going to do a special virtual story time just specific for Halloween. And we're kind of disappointed too because we wanted to do our Fear Factor again. We had a library Fear Factor last year and it was super popular. It was actually one of our biggest events of the year. And due to the pandemic and the room not being like big enough to hold and to do social distancing, we're probably going to have to hold that off until 2021 with just a different theme. But yeah, so, and usually the staff will dress up, so there sounds like to be in talks that we may still dress up and maybe do like a costume contest with just staff. So far that's what we got.
Tell me about Fear Factor.
Well, Fear Factor, what we did last year was we combined our pumpkin patch with our Fear Factor. So we had, I think, 5 stations to where the kids would go around and do like gross and scary activities. So one of the activities we had was we did spaghetti, and we put plastic bugs into the spaghetti, and the kids had to reach their hands in there to find a gold coin. And if they found the gold coin, they got a prize. And we also put like, I want to say, what was it? Chocolate syrup in there to make it extra sticky. So a lot of kids, they were so cute because they were screaming. They're going, "Oh, this is so gross." I'm like, well, it's a Fear Factor. Get used to it. And then we had an egg one where we had all of them were cooked except for one raw egg, but we didn't know which one it was. We told the kids, we don't know which one it is, and so the kids would have to take the eggs and basically smash them against their forehead. And one of my preteens got the raw eggs, but he's a good sport, so he was happy. And we had a pie eating contest where we had those little tiny pies, and the kids were timed for about, I want to say 15-30 seconds to eat the pie, and whoever won got a prize. And then we had a gummy worm station where we put whipped cream over the gummy worms, and the kids would go face first into the whipped cream and try to grab the gummy worms without their hands, and the giggles were amazing. So the kids really enjoyed that. And then our last station, kids had to sort through a pumpkin that we carved out, and they had to pull out as many coins as they could from the pumpkin before time ran out. So that was pretty much our fear factor. We also had a costume contest where the kids won prizes. We basically had the parents cheer for what kid their costume liked the best. We were still trying to figure out how to make it more fair for the kids, but it seemed to work just fine. And then we had a little pumpkin patch we made up to where the kids got to go pick their own pumpkins. We didn't pick them for them. And then they took their pumpkins to a table and decorated them. So it was a really wonderful event. So we're kind of sad that the pandemic has kind of slowed it down because we wanted to do it again with, of course, different stations this time. We didn't want to do the same events. So maybe we'll do it next year. That's what we're thinking. But
Things to look forward to. That sounds fun. I remember the whole spaghetti thing. Like, I remember being a little kid and doing that, and it was just so foul and so gross. And
well, it makes their hands all slippery. And I had one of my I tell you the truth, I couldn't handle that station because I just couldn't watch it. So I had one of my volunteers do it.
Man, that's cool. Well, what are we doing here at the State Library? Well, we always dressed up. We did, but we're still closed to the public. So I'll just dress up at home, I guess. Ooh. I don't even know if we're doing. What, Bruce?
Oh, nothing. It's just Halloween was always the one that we could get everybody to get excited about in the library staff and the patrons. And, you know, we did a haunted house in our library in Miami in our auditorium thing, and we had like so many people show up for that. But you know, and we did we like had little hallways and everything, and everybody loved that, and staff and them, and I miss that. I'm gonna miss Halloween this year.
You know, I knew a library in California that did a joint project with the school that was next door to do a haunted house, and they had over 1,000 people, which just astounds me. All right, I'm gonna share a photo with you. This is my last story time Halloween. And dressed up as Tuesday. No, I dressed up as Wednesday Addams. And good old days. Anyway.
Yep, you definitely are Wednesday.
Okay. Well, I think that's it for us. Does anyone, I don't know, Norma, you have anything to add? Does anyone have anything to add?
Asking that question.
I was just thinking when I was at Flagstaff, we did the staff pumpkin decorating contest too, and youth services always won. Always.
They got a bunch of ringers.
Was it even fair?
All right. Pam writes, we are doing a virtual Halloween party recording. I know, I mean, you can transition a lot of things to digital, but I don't know if you can do that.
If I would make a suggestion to anybody watching, this would be a good time to do your own Blair Witch project.
True story, I was told that I looked exactly like the girl in Blair Witch. If you can remember back to the late 90s.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
All righty, we'll wrap it up. Thank you. See you in 2 weeks from now, and we'll let you know the results of the survey.
Thank you, everybody.
The poll. Yes.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Julie. Take care.
You too. Take care.
Okay. Well, I need to stop recording.
That would be good.